Physic is dead. Desperation fills Tulak as he sends the Festrog on a chase of futility. Gilda's defensive walls go up again. The shock is too much to absorb in the moment. This is what the surviving heroes have described to me in the immediate aftermath. And in their numbness, they persevered. Behind a screaming painting in the office, they found something unexpected. A long-lost dwarf from the town above. Lasda Venkervale, son of Brelda, owner of the Rowdy Rockfish. He was being tortured by the necromantic light of the Gaunt Light. Returning to Otari with the broken and battered tavern owner, they come across some political upheaval. As Carmen Rajani gave a scattered but impassioned speech to a crowd of workers and laborers, calling for the fall of Mayor Manjimes and himself as a replacement. Vandy Banderdash saw to the preservation of Physic and Shad's bodies until proper burials could be arranged, and Lasda was returned to a grateful mother. Gilda and Tulak sought to inform Ynyasmara of her club member's death out of respect, but were met with a less than sympathetic reaction. And so they shared a drink in memory of their fallen friend, another among a few too many in such short time. Tulak was then inspired to check out the strange burlap pattern they had discovered days before, and in it finds a new magical friend to aid in their exploits. A puppet turned bag of holding, a unique creature by the name of Duffy Bindleford. After Lady Gilda has some thought-provoking words with Captain Longsaddle about Rajani and Manjimes, the remaining heroes finally head to Rin's to break the bad news.
So I've been thinking lately as of this recording, about something that has been pressed upon me quite a bit, and I have not resisted so much as never felt the need for it. And it's coming to a head, and the fact that I need it more and more. It's a two-parter that are closely connected, and it's scheduling myself in a calendar and having a to-do list.
Oof.
You might hear James giggling already.
You fucking monster.
Who's the one who's been pressuring me for like probably years now into the necessity importance of these things, and I've found recently a need for them quite a bit, and this popped into my head not just because I need it in my own personal and professional life, but also because guys might have noticed that after the last episode, I created a PC to-do list because there's a lot of things happening right now, And so I just get to thinking, you know, I know James will sit here and gush about how important they are and how valuable they are to himself. He's nodding his head. But I was curious generally about Duncan and Scott, about how much these are a part of your life. Um, like lately I've been doing a lot of tastings with like local distillery reps and beer reps, because we're moving into a new job that involves building a bar program at a brand new restaurant, and then on top of that, making sure that we're getting our stuff done for this podcast, and James and I other podcasts encounter this available anywhere and where your podcasts are available. And yeah, it's just like things have just been piling up on me. So yeah, Scott, we'll start with you because I'm pretty sure you just don't use any of them.
Well, first of all, I like how you insinuated that you were going to ask Duncan and myself and then just proceeded to talk only about yourself for another 30 seconds. So, you know, thanks for the hot intro.
Yeah, but I'm your fearless leader, so whatever.
I believe in the current parlance, it is termed adulting, is what you're talking about right now.
That's what the children say.
That's what the kids these days, yeah. Millennials and down.
It's on fleek,
which,
bro.
strangely enough, you're part of, but
yeah, I'm just barely in the millennial group, yeah.
And then to answer your question, yeah, I don't do that shit. I should. I desperately need to be. But you know what? That just isn't a part of my life. The only time that I use it is literally to try to do it for you guys. It's a big try.
Try get those episode reviews in time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the thought.
One day we're gonna hit a point. We are gonna hit a point where we're all gonna be on the same calendar. We're all gonna need it.
I just really try to juggle it in my head and just end up with a lot of smashed plates on the ground.
Right. I mean, I'm 35 and I've been doing that my entire life, is juggling it all in my head. So yeah, it's weird. It's weird to suddenly feel like I have to do it. Dunk?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get on the same calendar. I'm Julian or bust, bud. But no lists. I was never a big proponent
That landed
of
way
until
too hard.
very, very recently. Calm down, guys. I'm not that funny.
I'm here for a good calendar joke.
Yeah, once I started my new job, where you really have to be precise in getting through the steps of like, you finish all of these steps before or after you do anything in this place. And you're like, okay, point taken. And that's kind of been seeping into the rest of my life slowly. But
right.
Otherwise, no, I just do the same thing. Put it in my head. Hope it comes out okay.
I think what we're getting to the bottom of is that you guys are just smarter than I am. Like, I do not have the brain power to put that shit in there and just leave it.
I think it's not about intelligence. It's about how memories work, I think. Because we talked about memory before. I think it's about how memories work, because memories work very differently. And you and I, James, have talked about this quite a bit.
Oh yeah, because
comparing our own memories, they're totally separate.
Yeah,
like I've never known anyone that have a memory that works the way yours does. It's crazy. I find it wild. But yeah, I've always had a very, very good memory, but only for like very specific things. I don't know. I've always just managed to rely on it.
Oh, unimportant things for me. If it's like half of the categories in Jeopardy, killing it. But I lost my wallet twice last month. Both times it was under my bed.
I've never lost my wallet, my keys, or my phone ever in my life. Never left the bar without them either.
You know what? Me neither.
Never haven't. Really?
Oh
man, that's adulting.
I have.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I can't keep track of it.
But my memory works weird, because I'll do like kind of apropos of our, I don't know how many episodes ago now, talk about muscle memory. Sometimes I'll serve a table of like 20 people, and if I'm in the right mindset, I can just go in one order around the table and just order everyone's by memory, take the order, and then plug it in and then go to do the food and whatever. And then the next 2 or 3 days, I'll be able to tell you what they had in order and the order they ordered it through the whole service. And then it'll be vanished not long after, but for some reason it'll stick in. If I find a pattern, it'll stick real well.
But I mean, that's kind of the point of the lists, is you build so much comfort around memorizing that kind of stuff that you almost get overconfident and start forgetting and not even noticing.
Right. No, for sure.
That's actually a huge problem with the checklist program.
I found the to-do list be how valuable for myself, even because given our strategy for recording, and how frequent we do it, and taking into account for whatever breaks we have to do behind the scenes, it helps me with my prep and knowing what direction you guys might go in next as well. And with this one's tough. It's like when you're in the dungeon, there's only so many ways to go, but when you're outside the dungeon, you feel like you have things to do in town. There's a laundry list of NPCs in this town that may or may not be important to the story, but I still have to be ready for them, and it's the farther we get in, the more I feel like it's coming to a head that we need to have like a regular list going of what can or cannot be done.
Definitely.
And yeah, I mean, let's just get into the game, shall we? There's some stuff to do. I'm just gonna run through the list real quick. And just follow me for a bit of a, I don't want to call it a segue, but a bit of a transition here. Recently, you discovered Jal is still alive.
Facts.
Which is pretty wild. You have a couple people that you might want to report that to. Kulino Lathanar himself, whose wife was killed by Jal. Menhimas, mayor of town, has been for a long, long time. Or Warlewin, the druid who's come to like redeem the druid's reputation.
Whom I believe we've never met.
You've never met. No, you've never gone to the Summoning Pond. And that's where Jal was hiding out because he was a druid amongst there. And this is information you got from our late physic. You also, at least Tulak, expressed some interest in confronting Carmen Rajani and the situation in town.
No, I said that I was going to do something, but then he wasn't where I thought he'd be.
Right, you were going to have a chat with him.
No.
Confront's a strong word.
You don't know what I was.
Oh, you're just going to do so. Oh, okay, all right.
No idea.
Tanya Harding, the hell out of that guy.
Tulak's mouth.
Turns out Tulak's learned the create undead ritual. He's going to kidnap Rajani.
No, just Festrog in his face.
That sounds like a great metal song.
Lasda Vankervale was imprisoned and tortured within the Gauntlet and the Abomination Vaults, having been gone for close to a year since his disappearance. So you haven't really been able to hit him up yet as he recovers. Also, you want to sort out Physic's funeral, if possible, although you've been told there's a delay on those sorts of things, at least for the graveyard. Rather importantly, you've gone to see Rin and report the sad news of Physic's demise. And as you stepped in, Rin was basically at the tail end of having a vision, something much more intense than the usual reading of the stars. 3 birds perched on the edge of a great sword. Every so often they shift, and a trickle of blood slips down the flat of the blade. One bird is wizened, haggard, a survivor, its feathers unusually growing gray with age from a once proud black. A condor, large and menacing, its honed strike and threatening appearance the last defenses in its elden age. It appears resigned. The second, a large songbird, a shrike, sometimes blind in one eye, other times perfect clarity in both. At all times, the carrion of its prey impaled upon the tip of the bladed perch. A third, a crow, but its face strapped with the mask of doctors that fight plague and disease. Occasionally it shakes its head, activating the nostril-stinging chemicals within the mask's beak with a flash of fire and flame. Fireflies of blue harry the condor. It slides its feet along the blade, bleeding more and more, coating the deadly perch. It falls to darkness. The pinprick light of stars shine brighter and brighter, observed only by the ocean wind. An eclipse over a blue sun, and the ground beneath the perch reaches up. Snapdragons grow at a rapid rate toward the birds. Their petals bloom in skull-like shapes. A shining kingfisher swoops in to break their stalks. The shrike drops its prey upon them like boulders. The crow sets them alight. The snapdragons recede, leaving behind dozens of dead or injured chicks. The kingfisher departs. Below, a large shape can be seen. The span of a red-crowned crane's wings lift from their rounded spread, exposing many chicks alive and well, protected from the assault. The crane joins the perch, as does one of the chicks, a small canary with a clever eye. Gingerly stepping along the blade's edge, the crane offers a wing to the shrike, and then to the crow and the canary, a barrier to stand between foot and perch. They accept at times, but all are pushed and buffeted by rough, unknown winds, cutting their feet as they are shifted around, creating new rivulets to wash the blade. Cruel and vicious owls loom on thorny branches above, delighting in the bloodletting. unnaturally licking beaks with anticipation. A swoop, and the canary is snatched up, and a heavy rain falls. The glint of canine eyes reflect in the overcast shadow. The torn feathers of a lovebird flutter along its chops. Rain floods the soil below. Squirming creatures rise from the depths and breach the surface, a roiling mass of worms, leeches, cockroaches, and spiders. They rise and rise, ignoring the cutting edge of the blade. For every one the birds dispatch from their perch, many more appear. They engulf the crow before retreating, leaving behind nothing but bone and sinew. A red-maned mule, stolen and mistreated under a blue light's whip, returned to its pen. A Great Dane and Terrier stand guard, soaked yet stalwart, eyes watching, ears alert, haunches poised. An osprey with a wicked look holds many fish in 2 big talons. Several slip away, but it seems not to care. The clouds part, and a fox skulks among many chicks below. Yet it yelps, cries, and whimpers. The chicks pay little mind. The fox does not strike. It turns its attention to a nearby dove, a sword banded to its back. The fox quietly slides it from sheath with its jaws, whips its tail and sets afire aged saplings with a shower of embers. A lion, proud and well-fed, paces with concern. A cub plays with a ball of yarn, ruby red, then plods alongside something unseen, its right front paw limp and maimed. And 2 birds, a red-crowned crane and a shrike, stand upon the blade's edge, shuffling as an unknown avian flies overhead, always against the backdrop of the pale blue sun, its call beckoning toward the pale blue light, and the blade edges closer to the light. And then, suffocating darkness. And this is the very scattered and stark vision that Rin tells you about.
Phew.
Lot to process there.
Yeah, I mean, holy shit. Cryptic.
As you, I assume, relay your story to Rin, what's happened since your last visit, she's pretty quick, as well as you guys probably are too, to interpret a lot of this vision as a tale of what you've been through in many ways. Some of which is information she didn't know, but something has seen to give her this vision to inform her. So when you tell your story, she does not really shy away. She nods with a sort of worried understanding. But then she needs to speculate on where that story ends compared to her vision and what the vision has given her beyond your arrival, because it does go beyond where you currently are.
It is obvious to me, my friends, that the red-maned mule is Lasda. I cannot believe you have found him. The Great Dane and Terrier, well, surely the guard. I do not know quite about this osprey with the wicked look, or this fox, though I might suspect it is your troubles with Yin Yasmira, and perhaps the instigations of Carmen Rajani, with a lion with a cub in trouble. I do not know about these. I do not know about a dove with a sword on its back, and the fox's role in it. These are things we need to look out for. These are the parts of my vision that I feel may be the dark news, the dangers ahead.
It seems the cosmic caravan does not deliver its messages in a way that is easy for us to dissect. This is the way of the gods, I've found. Through all my reading, we must pay attention, we must be vigilant, because, of course, these meanings, these messages are potent, and we must pay attention to them, but Rin, we need your help to dissect them.
I could not agree more, Sage Dulak. My visions have come to me before my worship of the cosmic caravan. They are a means to an end that are hard to interpret. But this was a vision much like the one I had that saved my village from the devastation of Tree Razor, the demon. This is coming from somewhere else, somewhere in my blood, like a patron offering guidance.
So, go ahead.
No, go on. I was just going to say there's a bird fight outside, so I can't say anything.
Oh, well, kind of fitting, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to back up to, it was like a blue sun under an eclipse.
Yeah, there's a lot of references to a blue sun. It was an eclipse, and then there's like a pale blue light constantly built in there.
So I think
that
what it means is that Physic is going to come back as a force.
Eat your heart out, baby Yoda.
Or regular Yoda, even.
Where's he been at? He's been CGI since Jim Henson times. It's not Jim Henson. Who was it? Never mind.
Frank Oz.
Frank Oz, thank you.
I was going to let it slide.
Yeah, well.
I wasn't.
We're putting this on the internet, sir. We cannot leave that in.
That's why I was going to let it slide.
So I can get a bunch of shit later. Awesome.
I think a couple episodes ago I misquoted Wolverine's first appearance, so anything to misdirect. I think at this point Guild is just like sort of in awe, a state of awe and disbelief. Like she believes that Rin and Tulak believe it, but her communication with her god is pretty simple and straightforward. So this seems a little needlessly complicated to her.
Yeah, I also want to throw out here that the reaction of Tulak, the character, and the reaction of Scott, the player, are two very different things, I would think. You know, Tulak being a little more used to reading omens, being in touch with visions, whereas I am just an idiot and I'm just listening to this trying to keep up. So
yeah, I spat it at you pretty quick on purpose.
Yeah,
that's where playing your character is hard sometimes when you're dumb.
And for that admission, I've given you a hero point.
Hey,
charity hero
Because as much as it doesn't get you anything, it's a perfect example of separation of character and player. Like Tulak probably would have been listening very intently to this. You know, I'll tell you what. Why don't you roll me a fortune telling lore?
oh
Ooh.
yeah, dude.
There's something you've never been able to use.
Talk about throwing him a bone.
Hey. That is a 21.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that means you have played pretty damn close attention to this. We don't want to dwell on this for too long, but is there any particular portion of this you want to go over, like to try to have a better understanding of? Because I went through it pretty quick. Or do you want me to just give you a quick breakdown?
Just go breakdown because
Okay.
I missed a lot. I was listening, but I didn't get it. Also,
no,
okay,
it's fine.
And who had the hurt paw?
Okay, so
that's Gilda.
Most of it, the vast majority of it is a retelling of your situation so far. I hope this is fun for listeners because then you can go back and listen and maybe you'll pick up on it. Most of it's a retelling. You're all birds and you're all constantly on a bladed edge of a perch for some reason, and basically are constantly fighting against your this edge as well as other factors, other things coming at you. The condor Samal, who falls to the blue fireflies. A kingfisher swoops in. You quickly establish that as Raphael, but because they leave right away, you are a shrike, Tulak. You pick up on the fact that your prey is always on the tip of the blade, and you use them against the snapdragons. Those are your undead summonings. You also probably twist your head a bit at the fact that you're blind in one eye sometimes in this vision, but see with perfect clarity on the other times, rather than the other way around. As you push forward through the vision, there is a red-crowned crane that is revealed, protecting off scene from the snapdragons. You might presume this is Lady Gilda in her part against the event that happened at the graveyard. As you push forward, it's quite clear that this roiling mass of creatures, like insects and stuff, that destroy the crow, if it wasn't obvious already, that was in fact Physic. From there, it becomes a little less obvious, where a red-maned mule was stolen, mistreated, and returned. And then you have the Great Dane and Terrier that stand guard, and an osprey with a wicked look, carrying too many fish, but not caring when they slip away. And then the fox that is yelping and crying and whimpering around a bunch of chicks that are not paying any mind he does not strike at. These all are very recent events. The finding of Lasda, the role of Gerald and Longsaddle, perhaps Yan Yasmara, the osprey, who does not care, and perhaps Carmen the fox. From there, you don't know. Something about a dove with a sword on its back and the fox steals it. Something about setting afire aged saplings. A lion that is proud and well-fed, but concerned with a cub that is playing with a ball of yarn that is ruby red. And then it plods alongside something that is unseen with the right front paw limp and maimed. And then from there, this obvious imagery of pushing towards the light, the two birds remaining pushing towards the light, with another avian flying overhead against the light, calling, beckoning. Kerka. Duncan Forbes, everyone.
Okay. So I think Tulok leans back in his chair, has a sip of the tea that's in both of his hands, and just kind of gazes towards the roof of the canopy of the tent and says, well, I suppose looking at the past will give us some answers, but to truly understand this riddle, we must continue forward and pay mind to what has been spoken, see what it reveals to us in the future.
In my experience, Tulak, these visions are not a way to prevent what will happen, but are instead a clue, an insight into what to do when they occur. I could not save my village from Tree Razor, but I did save every single person within it. We left. We could not stop the demon. We could not stop their armies. But we could stop the loss of life. Do not think to change these outcomes. Just do not be surprised when you see them, and be prepared.
Such notes.
James is just, he's quiet. He's like, is he thinking about what Gilda's saying? No, he's making notes.
Yeah. I honestly don't know what Gilda would say in this situation. I think she's probably just doing the same thing as me, just being very quiet, taking down as many notes as she possibly can. As much as she believes conversation with your deity should be limited but straightforward, this isn't the first time that Tulak has spoke of Rin with high regard. So Gilda will obviously hold her in such high regard, even though she doesn't understand what the fuck is happening. And like Tulak and her like going over it, like identifying symbols, and she's just like smiling and nodding, eyes glazing over, calmly like, yep, that's definitely what, like, it's like when two of your friends talk about something you're not interested in.
It's
right.
Like also, wasn't it the second
like
time?
when you guys talk about hockey?
Yeah. I think it was the second time that you met Rin that she had the vision of, if we correctly use Borbo, which is an awful way to put it.
I think
we
that was
get
the
information.
That's what we did.
We'll get the information about like the hidden path. So
yeah, I think that was the first time. I think this is only the second time Gilda's met Rin.
Yeah, I think I think you might be right there with Gilda. Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely, she's earned the cred. I forgot about that. The opening curtains and stuff like that. But she still doesn't speak dream interpretation. So
no.
Yeah, I think that you make a really cool point about speaking with your deity, because it's usually never direct. You're never having a conversation with your deity. But this is almost. But you're right. It's like a little more like linear almost, right? And you have to interpret some, but you know what you're going to get from your deity essentially, and you know what you want to do to say to them. In this case, it is like not only less direct, it's a big smattering of craziness, and it's like way more direct than usual, and it's very one-sided. So it's probably a very, very unorthodox, according to Gilda, way of being communicated to by like some sort of powerful force.
Yeah, I mean, I know she believes it, but I think she's still a little skeptical of Rin's abilities. Like, maybe she is just making some of this shit up, you know? Like,
yeah,
like after her and Tulak go at it, and they start dissecting it. They're like, okay, we're the birds. She's like, okay, I'm a bird. Cool, I can get behind that. And then they start talking about like Carmen being a fox or something, and she's like, nope, that's probably not it. You know, like there's some interpretation that definitely loses her in there because she's just used to.
Do you think her skepticism with Rin's legitimacy might come from the fact that, you know, you have a very militaristic background, so it's like authority kind of really means something, where Rin is like the local oddities merchant that most people think is just a sort of a local eccentric?
Yeah, I think that definitely has something to do with it, but I think it might also just be like the ignorance of youth, you know, like she's going to live another 400 to 600 years, and she's just like she thinks she has the world figured out, you know. She's 24 years old, thrown into the middle of this.
Oh no, not one of those.
Like,
We've all been there. Scott was there last week.
I've been 18 since I was 16.
All right. Well,
before we get too far away from the text of this prophecy, I didn't want to interrupt or anything, but Tree Raiser needs a crossover event fighting Tree Beards. If any fan fiction writers out there want to do it.
In my notes, it says must have been the name of a rejected Mountain Dew mascot.
Tree Raiser is the self-styled lord of the Blasted Tarn, a powerful demon on the cusp of ascending to the power of a true power of one of the rulers of the Abyss. An exceptionally powerful demon, actually.
Right, but that doesn't change the fact that it sounds like a 90s skateboard company.
Yeah, and it's Razor, Razer, like
yeah, of course it is.
Trees.
Oh,
yeah.
Great! Yeah,
they didn't take the vowels out.
Not as in they shave trees. just for clarity.
He's got a
I like my way better.
Scooter that he rides around on.
Yeah. So what does Physic think?
What do you?
Yikes, dude. Yikes.
He thinks, "Hey, why are these worms eating me so much?"
He's in
you're gentle repose. You're good.
Now.
You're good.
Yeah. No,
he's in gentle repose.
He's waiting for the third act of a Star Wars movie.
All right, so
I guess after they're done sorting that out, I think Gilda thanks Rin for the vision, like not really knowing how this transaction works. Only like the last time she was here during the vision, she walked out of the hut. So this time she's just like, thanks for the tea and thanks for the vision. I guess is that proper? Is that
Tulak cuts in and turns to Rin and says, "There's much we must do in town right now, but we'll see you soon. Please come and join us for when we inter Physic. We know not yet when, but soon we shall take care of this. And I know that you of all people, he would like to be there. He spoke to me of many things he must have spoken to you about. Visions of chaos and demise. I hope they are not in our future still, but maybe we'll speak of these later and your visions upon those." And he excuses himself.
Yeah, Rin is like beaming at Gilda's awkwardness, thinking it's really funny. Because like as mysterious as Rin can maybe seem, she's absolutely has no real time for like etiquette. Like it's just she likes it probably as a good tea ceremony, but you know is by no means someone of what's it like ceremony or anything like that.
right?
She kind of winks at Tulak. Says, "Yes, Tulak, I of course would be there. He is in good hands with Vandy. We can rest assured. And we'll keep an eye. And we will talk later." And kind of nodding towards Gilda as she's exiting the area, I guess. It's kind of a weird structure here.
Yurt.
You have a good one there.
What's that?
I think yurt is the architectural term.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I keep forgetting how it's laid out. Someone did a really cool map on Reddit of how it's laid out because it's a very open concept, not like we
I
have on
think
the map.
carnival tent.
Oh yeah.
She says,
You have a good one there, Tulak, with the Lady Gilda. She will keep balance. Good luck.
Thank you, Rin. She is so capable and has been nothing but a boon for us. I worry that she might blame herself for the fact that we lost Physic down there. But I know it wasn't her fault. Incredibly horrifying down there, Rin. It just is wave after wave of terrible creature, monster, ghost, incorporeal, fiend. It is so much, Rin. But we must steel our resolve and carry on. And he just turns and walks away.
perhaps behind you, unseen to you, she's just nodding with a look of confidence in you. What do you do? Meow.
Meow. I mean,
Gilda's like, she doesn't want to report Jaw yet. That she understands that it's something that Tulak and Physic wanted to do, but she's like purposely not talking about it because she doesn't want to remind them that.
don't toss
they
me in
found-
there, man. I didn't want to. I was not set on reporting Jaws.
Oh,
so
okay,
far.
gotcha. Sorry, I misremembered it.
Yeah, because Kalino's a piece of shit a lot of the time. And
Yeah. And I get that he's a, correlation does not equal causation. But
That doesn't sound right.
is that not how the?
I almost
line
want
goes?
Duncan to like never have a character again, so he can just quip in once in a blue moon.
Oh, if I could just sit here being a smartass the whole time, that'd be great.
I hope that's just the character you made. Just somebody who sits in the back
Okay.
and just snipes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's like one part of our cast and crew is just an audience member.
I've just got like Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets on a little blimp following them around.
Have you met Duncan Staldorf Forbes?
yeah, what's that Mario character that floats around in the cloud?
Lakitu.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah. And just that's Duncan. But instead of throwing down like little fucking turtles, it's just quips.
just
Yeah,
quips,
and
quips and
it's-
wits.
It's not spiky little animals. It's just barbs of wit.
Just verbal
Barbs of
barbs.
wit. All right.
All right, so neither of you are on board with reporting Jaw. Okay.
No.
Yeah. I have nothing left to do in town unless we want to move some of Physic's gear.
We do want to separate the gear. We do.
Oh yeah, she covers some housekeeping there.
Yeah, there is some wheat and a lot of chaff.
Well, I know that we took a look at it off mic, and I think that you should take the crafting glasses for now. I'll take the healer's gloves for now because you don't have a hand slot open.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, true enough.
I probably won't ever have a hand slot open. So
Yeah, so and then other than that, I mean, everything we can just throw into our party loot chest for now.
yeah, that's fair. I just want to make sure I actually have repair tools. I don't have repair tools, so I'll need to take Physics as well.
He's not going to need them.
And the next thing going forward,
He's beyond repair.
Heyo. His soul is broken.
Jesus Christ. His Force Ghost is going to be so sad to hear that.
I would like to go check in on Lasda. I don't necessarily need to do anything with Carmen Rajani right now. And it might be interesting just to go to the Druids and see Warlywin, just to not even say anything about finding Jal, but just we've never been there and it could be interesting to get a little interaction. But I'm not necessarily pushing for that right now either.
Yeah, I'm fine either way. I think Gilda's itching to kind of get back and put this stuff behind her. But not like to the point where it would be a concern of hers to go to the druid circle. Like that wouldn't take very long.
Yeah, let's hit up Lasda first and just see how. I mean, he just got back yesterday, so he's probably in absolute dog shit shape still. But let's just see what he's up to.
Yeah, okay. While you're doing that, I think yeah, Gilda would go with you. Full disclosure, I still have 3 scrolls and an unusual lantern from that last room we were in, but I think Gilda would go with you to see Lasda.
Yeah, I actually have a couple housekeeping notes here too to just quickly cover, and that was one of them. So let's make sure we do that before we go out of town, I guess. But the other ones were a couple of things. I'm not sure if they made the cuts in the episodes or not, but one was whether or not Gilda equipping the half plate reduced her speed. I was under the impression it would not because she met the strength requirement. But it turns out that's not quite true. Meeting the strength requirement reduces that penalty by 5 feet.
Yeah.
So normally it would be 10 feet. So her speed is reduced by 5 feet, making her total speed 20 now.
Yeah, and that's reflected in Foundry. So she moves a little bit slower, but her baseline AC without a shield is now 23 instead of 22.
Nice.
Crazy.
Shield raised.
The other thing is I did some digging on the telekinetic projectile versus magic immunity.
You just fucked it up.
We played
Yeah,
that.
you silly bitch.
we were a little back and forth with that one. And what I've found is, rules is written. The order of operations is that if there is an exception, it will be listed. Telekinetic projectile is a magic attack. It is a spell. Therefore, immunity affects it. So whether or not the damage type is bludgeoning doesn't make a difference. So if something is immune to magic, telekinetic projectile will not work. And that's how we're going to play it from now on.
Okay.
Copy that.
That adds up. I don't like it.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But that's a fair and just ruling.
From there, Scott, just in case you haven't, just a reminder that you need to prepare that staff of necromancy, because that's a prepared thing like spells and stuff. So
Right.
Yeah. But otherwise, you can head on in to speak with Lasda down at the Rowdy Rockfish. And as you pop your head in, it becomes immediately evident that there are more people in here than usual. You guys have visited a few times, and in fact, there is no bartender. Brelda is not behind the bar, but rather what appears to be a bartender that's been basically hired, perhaps on a temporary basis, from Crow's Casks to fill in. As soon as you step in, heads turn, and you receive a lot of nods, a lot of courteous nods of thanks, perhaps. And the bartender even stops what they're doing and immediately gestures towards what door to go to, with the assumption of what your business would be. You head through the door, and with a couple creak of the floorboards, another door along a small hallway cracks open quickly, and Brelda's head pops out. And she gives a weak smile, but a genuine one, and opens the door and gestures you in. And Lasda's lying on a bed, head bandaged, partially covered in a blanket, but with lots of bandages along the parts you can see. Clearly, a certain amount of effort has gone into avoiding some cloth to skin contact, given the blisters and skin damage that he received from his ordeal. But he's conscious, if a little bit weary.
So these are my saviors. Dulak, I recognize you.
Yes.
I don't know your companion, but well, thank you both.
This is Lady Gilda of August. She was instrumental in bringing you out of there. Though she's not from Otari, she protects it like her own. How are you? How are you feeling?
I might not look it, but better than I was. It was nothing short of continuous torment. Under that light, I can't describe it.
Were you in that same room the whole time you've been gone?
No, but time sort of has slipped away from me. I'm told that I was gone for nearly a year, and it feels like I don't know how long. But no, I first woke in a cage. It was a room with 3 cages in it, floor to ceiling, Just barely enough to stand in. Not even close enough to lie in. And there was a blue creature covered in spikes, spiky chains, or some such. They told me constantly that they had plans for me. And they spent months barely keeping me fed and hydrated, telling me what they were going to do to me. And before they could formulate their final plans, they took me away. This blue creature, it was more than disappointed. But I was brought out, and I was placed on that slab, that altar, and then everything's a blur from there. The only thing I remember was the last time I was in town, I went for one of my early morning walks, and there was this blue light out towards the marsh, and it called me, and it pulled me forward. I can't explain how. The next thing I knew, I was in the woods, and I was romping through the fog fan, and then I was a prisoner. And I'm afraid that's all I can tell you.
Thank you, Lasda, for this information, but can you tell me more of the blue light? Did it have a body? Was it an apparition, or was it something like a will-o-wisp? Did it have a face? A skull?
There was no face, no. It seemed to bob strangely, like it was being carried. I don't even know how to explain it.
Okay. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for this information. I'm sure you know by now that something has happened here in the town, and you can ask your mother about this, but we are trying to stop what's going on. So if any more information comes to you, please tell us. Anything could help, even the smallest detail.
Aye, I will.
And Browder's got a look of like concern mixed with sternness on her face, and he kind of smirks. He's like,
Mother's been a bit protective, but we'll get through this, and I'm sure she'll fill me in.
And Tulok just kind of maybe gives his forearm a squeeze or something like that. Try not to injure him.
"Oh, that was
He
where my
seems
biggest
pretty
blister
fucked up.
was. Oh, what'd you do that for? Oh, that fucking smarts. That does. You bastard."
Tulok smiles and exits.
Pretty good Scottish brogue, by the way, there, Ben.
Do you like that? It's felt I was coming in and out of it, but
Yeah, I'm sure somebody that actually speaks like that would find flaws in it. But
I'm sure James has some notes.
it was a regular train spotting 3.
You're at least as good as Johnny Lee Miller.
It's all just a metaphor for heroin.
That's all Abomination Pops is.
What do you think Ian Asmer is going in there for?
They're all just different styles of heroin, Den. Different themes.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. Level 7 is an opium den. Woo! What a twist.
All right. So they leave. How about that?
Yeah, I think while Tulok is talking to him, Gilda's like inspecting his wounds, trying to suss out whether or not he's going to make a full recovery or just like a partial recovery, or if he's not going to recover at all. Reading the look on Beralda's face, she's a little concerned. She's a little more concerned for him than she was going into this.
Yeah, he looks already a lot better than when you found him and you carried him back to town. So you have no reason to think that he has any sort of disease or something that is going to like continuously rack his body. What you witnessed in that room was him being constantly deteriorated and destroyed, whilst also being healed in return.
Right, I remember that.
So he's just gone through a constant cycle of trauma and recovery, and now he's just laden with remaining trauma, but now going through recovering.
Yeah, having been in one of those necromantic spirals herself, I'm sure she can relate to the pain that he felt.
Yeah, I mean, and very, very legitimate concern at the end of the day for that.
Yeah, so if she doesn't find anything like anything that looks terribly infected or anything like that, she's just gonna she'll smile and look at Tulok, not saying a whole lot. She's I guess a little caught off guard when Tulak says she protects Otari like her own, because she doesn't think of Otari as home. But it was a really nice sentiment. She's just caught her off guard a little bit.
She's here for the innocent, more or less, like protecting the innocent.
Yeah, she if she can protect somebody, she has to. It's part of the tenets of being a paladin.
Right.
And she cannot let harm come to others through inaction, and that's why she's in this situation. But it, being a denizen,
it almost might blur the line of home,
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah,
home or not.
So
it almost makes it home because it is where you need to be.
Yeah, and she'll always be Andoran at heart, but it's a nice sentiment. We off to see the druids then, there, Scott?
I mean, even if you just want to pass by, the Stone Ring Pond is
on the way to the Gaunt Trail.
Off the trail of the Gaunt Trail, yeah. And it's a total of 24 standing stones that are about 12 feet high, and they stand like sentries around the shores of a shallow pond. The stones were raised generations ago by the Church of Gozra soon after Otari was retaken from the stone scale kobolds, if you remember your Otari history. And they have remained a place of worship for druids, rangers, and naturalists ever since. The waters of the pond are unusually reflective, but despite whispered rumors, they are not magical. So don't even bother detecting magic, Tulak.
Tulak is probably one of the ones who determined that they weren't magical. I cannot imagine when he got to Otari, he didn't have like a real interest in this place.
There's always a small cabal of like nomadic druids and clerics that usually faithful to Gozra or Pharasma. Desna, who's the patron of travel. They usually camped nearby, kind of spend a lot of time there, and do sort of pilgrimages to this spot, among others. So it's usually a constant rotation of people, although there's definitely a few familiar faces, Warlewin being the most important one, who arrived 5 years after the event with Jal and has spent 25 years mending the relationships with Otari and the druids here. She spends a lot of her time working with the loggers in town to make sure that they do their work harmoniously with the local nature.
Yay, sustainable practices.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay.
Do you want to stop in, or?
Yeah, let's just cruise by.
Sure. And Warlewin is a female gnome druid, dressed in the usual browns and greens, perhaps a little bit rough and dusty, but otherwise quite pleasant and welcoming. Offers services in healing and stuff, not unlike Vandy Banderdash.
Oh fuck! That just reminded me. We need to look into that stuff that you have.
It is 3 scrolls and an unusual lantern.
Okay. Should we just take care of that real quick, or should we go? Sorry, I just kind of sidetracked us.
No, that's fine. We said we should figure it out. Yeah,
sure. My best magic skill is religion, which is a +10. Do you want to roll separate checks, or do you want me to aid you?
Let's just roll our own. We both got pretty high.
Okay. Unusual lantern first.
2 on the die for a 14.
Let me see here. Yeah, you have no idea.
I think it's a lava lamp.
I use my hero point.
Ooh, snap.
Fuck it. Let's keep this hero point economy rolling. 23.
No idea.
Oh.
What?
Nope.
Son of a bitch. All right.
Okay. First
What's
scroll.
the other shit? Yeah. Natural 20 on that one.
Attaboy.
Well, knowing what we know about scrolls and wands and magical traditions, I think Tulak just knows what the scrolls are without rolls.
If they're on his list.
Now that you have a chance to look at them,
does.
I think he just knows them.
Okay.
One is a scroll of paralyze. One he definitely knows. It's a scroll of comprehend language.
Mm.
And even though I just said I almost wanted to backtrack, but Tulak did actually just roll a natural 20. So the other one is a rare spell or an uncommon spell. Actually, no, it's a rare spell known as Worm's Repast, which was used on, I believe, Physic. It's the one where a bunch of the gnawing worms appeared.
Cool.
And there was some confusion.
Okay, so we'll have to do the lantern the next time we rest, I guess. Is it once per rest?
Yeah, you could try it again, but the DC goes higher, and you already lost it at 23. So
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
to
to
you.
avoid, is the DC getting higher.
Yeah.
But it comes back down the next day, right?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tulak really mulls it over and is going to roll again. 29.
Bold. Ooh.
Oof.
Let's just try and catch a corpse light or a will-o-wisp in it and see what happens.
I too have played Zelda.
Zelda noises.
29 will do it.
That's right, baby.
Oh, wow.
Nice. The tenacity pays off.
This is a rather unique item known as a lantern of empty light. It's said that the pale blue light of this eldritch lantern shines from another dimension, or even is linked somehow to the glow of a ghost when it is consumed by the outer goddess Nimbaloth. A lantern of empty light is not intrinsically an evil item, though it remains a favored tool of those who would manipulate the minds of others for sinister reasons. It can be used as a normal bullseye lantern, but prolonged use tends to instill in the user a vague sense of being watched by unseen eyes. Its purpose, it's got a couple activations. They're both 2-action activations. One of them is also emotion and visual. It's once per day. And you direct the lantern's light upon a single living creature within 60 feet. The creature must attempt a will save to resist the effects. If they fail, they effectively become fascinated. And if they critically fail, you can sustain this fascination for up to 1 hour. And when you become fascinated, you are fixated on a spot, in a place, or a person, and you cannot really move away from it or do anything harmful to it. The other activation is a once per day as well, and you can set the light upon a single incorporeal undead within 60 feet to siphon away some of the creature's essence, dealing 4d8 positive damage to the creature with a basic will save.
Oh,
Wow.
Cool.
Do you want that as well, Tulok?
Sure, I'll take that.
Until I get Nimble Shield Hand next level, I think I'm kind of fucked for like.
Where did
stuff.
we get this from again?
This was all from
This is off
Bollock's
Bollock's
desk.
desk.
The desk. Right. Okay.
In fact, as you are rifling through these things, because what you did was you grabbed all the papers you could find.
Yeah, she just
and
cleaned the
including
desk into her
scrolls.
backpack.
Yeah. And you find a whole bunch of other papers and small books that you've cleared off. I mean, it's hard because like it's a lot to go through. So you could take the time now, which might, push the clock forward a bit and we can go through it, or you can wait for later if you want. It's up to you.
Just drop them all with Morlabent and see if he can rifle through them.
Yeah.
Oh, or also, can we chuck them into Duffy or whatever? Can we use Duffy?
Duffy Bindleford.
Oh, hello, friends. Oh, you have so many books and scrolls there. I love those. They taste so good. Hello, Mr. Book. Hello, Miss Scroll. Could I eat you? Just temporarily. What do you say, Master Tulak? Could I?
Duffy, of course.
Delicious. Please.
And just grabs them and just starts shoving them in his mouth, faking to chew.
Oh, this is delightful. So many cool little details. Oh, I don't know why I said the word cool. It doesn't seem part of my lexicon at all. Oh,
I mean, he's a magical
I must have picked it
creature.
up from one of these books. You never know. You never know what you're going to pick up and what's going to stay.
It's so much more unsettling that he enjoys eating the things that we store in him.
What happens when it's knives?
What happens when it's knives?
Oh, it just acts as a regular bag of holding.
Oh, no.
We've all seen
exactly.
sword swallowers.
I get it. It's just. Yeah. Next time I put a corpse in there.
You're on your own page. Swallowing. So, I mean, we got to remember that Duffy's abilities here are to give you some insight and maybe hasten the process.
Yeah.
But he cannot just like regurgitate all the information within to you. You'll still have to take some time.
Sure. Let's take the time.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I mean, while Duffy's doing that, we can check in on the druid circle. Like we don't need to just sit there and
Sure.
watch him eat digest
Right,
the books, I
yeah.
guess is the appropriate parlance.
Well, it's more like he's like a research assistant, right? So it's like it's not like him just like taking time to digest it all. Like he's just gonna bring it back out, and then when you start researching, he'll tell you what not to look at and what to look at.
Okay.
He's
So it's like
clippy.
his ability is quite instant.
Okay,
right? But
can
it
we
just shortens
just?
the amount of time it takes.
How
you.
about this? Can we just say that we did this where we left town, so we're not standing on the road in front of the druids doing this?
But I like it in the road. It's so breezy and lovely. But yes, you can.
Okay.
Duncan's laughing.
What can I do?
So, I mean, it's just going to take some time. I'll adjust the clock here, and you basically find some very interesting information. First of all, you find, and these actually, I don't know if you've noticed, James, these are actually all, this is in Lady Gilda's inventory right now.
I have, yeah.
Volok's papers and journal.
Yep.
The journal entries express a number of thoughts and feelings from Volok over an indeterminate amount of time. There is frustration for waiting for instructions. He seems to believe that Mistress Belcora has returned, but he has not seen her. His frustration stems from having not been contacted directly, but instead having to go through a dark and powerful entity he refers to as the Void Wisp. He feels his dedication and allegiance has gone unnoticed and believes that whatever this Void Wisp is, he remains the most loyal and devoted to Belcora. He's also ashamed and angry over his appearance. This is like smattered throughout. He longs for the days he was a well-groomed and handsome drow, and projects his anger onto one Chandriu in Vasar for deceiving him. In contrast, he expresses no regret when doubling down on his dedication to Belcora, confident he will one day be restored to his former glory through her power. In addition, there are 3 blueprints for the first 3 levels of the Abomination Vaults. The ground level, the servants' quarters, and the library level. Also, shout out to Mark Pierce for these handouts. Someone who did a module for the first book on some cool handout stuff. Really, really well done. Really awesome.
Ooh, I see stuff we didn't find.
Yes, hidden room.
You can see here there are spots that you did find that are secret, or like most likely secret, and there are definitely spots you did not find so far.
Sick.
This might add to your to-do list going back in.
I don't see a whole lot that we didn't find.
To be perfectly honest, I don't think you missed anything on floors 1 and 2.
No.
Yeah.
The library level, you missed some stuff.
Yeah.
There, in the room with the watching eye, there was in fact a secret door leading to something called the spying hall on this blueprint. There is where you fought the two of the cultists that were arguing over flavor in this really grotesque room. That room is labeled as the author's hall, and there was a secret, apparently a door that led south from there. You didn't find it. And perhaps most curiously, there was a small room off of the private collection room where you fought Nakazarin. We had that big, ridiculous ghoul fight with the fucking dinosaur.
And where
I can't
Shad,
believe I gave you.
Yeah.
where Shad died.
And where Shad died, yeah.
Yeah. And the subterranean grotto really has my attention.
Yeah, that's going down from the author's hall. There's some sort of subterranean grotto. Yeah. You can see that room that was unfinished. It's just labeled as expansion, so not much more to go on there. But the room that you fought the golem and had to run is called the Historical Archive.
Time to take that golem on.
Yeah, that is oof. Now, also, I'm confused. Well, I'm interested to see what the subterranean grotto is like as well, because it has 2 coastal caves, so another entrance.
Right. Yeah, it's like a cave sort of system exit, perhaps.
Right.
So,
right.
With
Neat.
all that in mind, I guess we'll go see the stupid druids.
Yeah, or do whatever we have to do to get Duncan back in the game.
Yeah.
Well, I'm having a great time. I made a nice picture. I'm going to put it on the fridge later.
Right, but we can't fight a golem with just the 2 of us and a fourth wall breaking cast member.
Yeah. And I want to know what Duncan's new character is. God.
That too.
Let's skip the druids. I want to, now that we have all this fucking map, I just want to go look at it. These rooms.
Sure.
Skipping the druids.
I mean, we really only
Okay.
were going to go talk about, get some background info on what's going on with Joel. I don't care to deal with him today anyways.
All right. Well, you head back to Gauntlet. Perhaps a very wary and cautious walk through the trail to the fog fen.
Also keeping eyes out for any blue, maybe hell.
Okay, sure. Yeah, of course. You make your way towards where this all started. Now there's only two of you, and it's probably a bit worrying. And you step towards the sort of outbuilding that the first encounter happened. And how are you both feeling right now?
Excited, but ashamed that she's excited.
Tulok not excited at all. Really, I think that, after last session when they lost Physic, he was pretty sad and angry. And I think that, albeit we've been talking about other stuff and kind of going through things, that I haven't necessarily been showing that he's been like that, but yeah, he's still, I mean, they lost Physic yesterday, so it's all on his mind.
Yeah.
But he is resolved to continue forward, and especially with the fact that, like, they don't know when the next wave is going to be. I think that he has really put upon himself, well, I'm projecting upon him a need to continue to push, because they don't know when that next wave is going to be, if there is even going to be one. Like, they don't know what's happening. I think he just doesn't want it to happen again, and neither do I.
Yeah. You step towards this front entrance, ready to turn to the east and take your usual route back into one of the entrances below, to the level below. And both of you roll me a perception check.
19.
11.
Tulok probably a bit too focused on his concern, probably going through all the motions in his head of what could and could not happen. Lady Gilda hiding her excitement, but it's kept her alert, and she can hear something quite subtle. Boom. 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 A thudding on the ground. And then she hears someone yelling and running through the woods.
She will take the defend action. Surprise.
And it's coming from your immediate east. So if you want to move yourselves a little bit, 5 to 10 feet from where you're at, you're welcome to. And
just for the listeners, in typical character fashion, Gilda moved towards the action and Tulok slinked away in towards cover.
This is 100% true. And I am going to get you guys to roll for initiative.
Okay. Interesting choice. I got a 29.
Modified 20.
Oh my. Okay. And let's begin the encounter. First up is Lady Gilda. What do you do?
I mean,
Boom. Boom.
she'll first action will be to keep the shield up. Second action,
Okay.
she will ready an attack. An action with the attack trait, I think.
Okay.
Can I do that? Can I just
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
The trigger will be somebody comes within melee combat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
It just, depending on the situation, it might be a punch, it might be a grab, it might be a trip.
All right. Next up, Duncan. What do you get?
Well, from the east comes crashing one Mr. Reginald von Macderigi.
Oh,
And he comes crashing out of those bushes completely out of breath, panic in his eyes. He's got a cloak on and he's got like a crossbow in his hand, but those things both look brand new. He's a pretty handsome guy, kind of wavy brown hair and looks like he hasn't really gone through much in his life, but he comes in there like a bat out of hell and peels towards the water, using a full complement of action 3 strides, he will go towards the water where he's I believe that's shallow water he's standing
Yeah,
in.
it's pretty shallow there. Yeah, you can be like, yeah, it's probably like up to knee deep, depending a little bit. But yeah, you're only lightly submerged on the edge there. Yeah.
So he'll go like make like he's gonna dive into the water, and then suddenly notice Gilda and Tulak and turn to them and just kind of like steel himself for a second. Oh, my lady, good sir, pleasure to be met. I regret to inform you, the creature is nearly upon us. You best ready yourselves. And he will turn with the crossbow in his hand. You can see that he's got some snares strapped across his back, and just wait for the thing that was booming.
Okay. The next thing that happens is this massive rock, this like venerable boulder, just comes shooting out of the forest. And you know, if 34 hits your AC.
Who's?
Starting pretty strong here.
Is that Reginald?
Yeah, it's going to Reginald. Yeah, sorry. He's the one being chased.
Yeah, it hits. Definitely hits, not a crit.
Not a crit. Okay.
Wait, no, it is a crit.
Oh, it is a crit.
It is a crit.
Okay.
Nice, Freeman.
Big hit coming in. Let's.
You know we don't have a
not
healer
too
anymore,
bad. Not too bad. That's going to be 26 points of damage.
Okay.
As this creature comes barreling out of the woods and straight towards you.
Oh no.
For the listeners, this is like a swole creature from the Black Lagoon.
It basically is.
Like a power lifter physique.
This massive it's a large creature, just like covered in like moss and like a makeshift sort of loincloth, these weird blue fish-like eyes, and it's holding this long like gaff, like a stick with a hook on it, and it's just barreling towards Reginald, and like with its last 2 movements gets right up in his goodies. Tulak, what do you got?
Tulak strides forward 15 feet, closing the gap slightly. And in an attempt to save this person's life, he will cast blindness upon the water creature. And we'll need a fortitude save. Which I think you'll probably have a good one, but let's see what happens.
Let's see here. 26.
Passes. So you are blinded until its next turn begins.
Okay, so I'm blinded until my next turn begins. Gotcha. Okay, so blinded is basically dropping my perception checks. Okay. All terrain's difficult terrain. Okay, all right. Gotcha. Top of round 2, Lady Gilda. What do you do now?
Gilda, with her first 2 actions, will stride. Does that provoke?
It does not.
Okay. With
Getting
her
all up in its goodies.
third action, she will attempt a trip. So that is an athletics check against your reflex DC.
Okay. Oh, okay. Go for it.
That's not a great roll. That's a 16.
Do you want to roll use a hero point before you decide if?
Yeah, I think I do.
I tell you if this
That's
works.
only a 3 on the die. That's a 32. That's much better.
Okay, that's actually a critical success.
Okay, so you fall prone and take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my god, blind and prone. Okay, you're really laying it on this creature.
Yeah.
And 4 points of bludgeoning?
Yeah, she just, runs in trying to get the hang of this new half plate, only being able to move 20 feet around. Moves in as fast as she can and just sweeps at this thing's knees with her heater.
Amazing. This is blinded, and then this massive creature says, sweep, boom, big thud on the ground. Reginald, what do you do?
Well, Reginald got hit pretty fucking hard by that rock, so he's gonna take a deep breath. Oh, well, it was well met indeed. A nice trip, my lady. He will first mark that fish monster as his prey.
Exciting.
Second action, Second action, he's gonna drop the crossbow. Third action, he's going to raise his club.
Okay. So you gotta draw the club. That's all your turns?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool. Next up, Marsh Giant. Thanks to my success, the blinded is now done, so it was pretty short-lived. And it is going to, from prone, it takes that gaff and swings it out at Reginald and is going to try and trip him. So, bringing him down to his level. Athletics check against, was it reflex DC, was
DC,
it?
So, Duncan, your reflex save plus 10.
Yep.
I rolled a 28.
Yeah. That
Okay. Reginald is prone, and then this creature in that swing knocks him down, rolls itself up with its next action, and then uses an ability called Hook Shake. I'm going to roll another athletics check against your Fortitude DC.
With the multi-attack penalty?
In this case, no, oddly enough.
Okay.
It's going to be a 28.
Yeah, that's a crit.
That's a crit. Okay, what it does is take the gaff and hook it onto you and submerges your head into the water and just starts to shake you around. It's an ability called Hook Shake.
He's just going up and down from the water like, oh, I have you right where I want you.
Well, you're basically, when you're underwater, you can hold your breath for 5 plus your Constitution modifier. And this automatically reduces those many rounds by 5, and is now shove your head under, shaking you around, and deals 35 piercing damage.
He down.
Reginald down and in the water.
Since that was a crit, is he dying too?
Well, Duncan, describe the next thing.
From the south, a giant orc with a battle axe comes running out of the woods, screaming.
What the fuck?
This is a giant armored orc. He's got leather armor on that's all cut and dented up. His axe is massive, super long hilt, really big head. The look on this orc's face is absolute fury as he comes running out of the woods. And for his first 2 actions, he will do a sudden charge, which will be 2 movements and then an attack. Come to the south of the creature, swing the axe, 21 to hit.
I'm afraid it's a miss.
What is happening?
Third action,
So
third
confused.
action, he will go into a rage.
Oh
A
shit!
third action is going to rage. Okay. Amazing. Tulok, you're up.
So Tulok is looking around like, holy shit, this guy is about to fucking die. Just got put down hard by this creature. And then all of a sudden there's an orc coming out of nowhere. So he is just going to continue attacking. With the first action, he is going to cast Guidance onto Lady Gilda.
Thank you.
And then second action, he will cast Telekinetic Projectile, bringing down a stone from the keep. 18 to hit. It flies wide.
Miss. Yeah. Lady Gilda.
Who are you? What is happening? What is going on here?
And the orc will say, "This isn't the time."
Well,
Not wrong.
I mean, she can talk and punch, which she will do. She will.
Oh, the hubris.
Raise her shield with her first action. Second action, she will attempt to grapple.
Okay.
So that is an athletics check versus your fortitude DC.
Okay.
21.
That's no dice.
Okay,
Failure.
that's what I thought. Third action, she will just punch. That's a 26 to hit.
That hits.
Nice.
Okay, 15 points of bludgeoning.
Okay.
and 6 points of positive if it takes it, as she's just like weaving around this thing's hook. Let the thing go. Like, can we just talk for a second here? She's trying to talk to this marsh giant, but she does not have the time to do a check to see if it speaks common. So
It's just ravaging this guy into the water. And you just give it a big punch. It's like, ooh.
yeah, just
Feels it in the old kidney. And
world's swirly.
it turns towards you, Reginald, face down in the water, and just says, "You done dog, It is going to swing at you, Lady Gilda, with its gaff.
Yes.
And that is a 21 to hit.
That is a miss, and I'm going to free action use disarming block.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, no!
There it is, James.
Yes.
How many episodes?
Is this, this is a free action, but
it is a free
it's also
action,
reaction, right?
but I have to use my shield block, and I don't actually have to use a shield block for that. So, no, never mind.
Okay. Oh no! We got so excited there.
Yeah.
That was since
Um,
level 3.
Level 4. Yeah.
4. My bad.
And it is going to just mindlessly swipe at you 2 more times. Actually, no. It's going to step 5 feet back from you and then swipe again with its 10-foot reach, but misses as it stumbles away from your gut punch. New Orc Man, what do you got?
Looking over at the man face down with bubbles slowly getting less and less prominent coming out of the water its face is in. The orc will, in a rage, I guess I should turn that
Did you
on.
roll a
That's
flat
an
check
actual
for
one.
Reginald before
Did
Krug's
not.
turn?
I did
Okay,
not.
because he would go directly after, or directly before the marsh giant, or directly after.
Yep. Sure would.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Swings the axe for a 22 to hit,
That's a miss.
and he's just gonna keep going. Swing with a bat -5 for a 19 to hit.
Wow.
Rolling terrible. Well, that's what you get for swinging angry.
Now that you're playing something very different from the usual, I might suggest you get into a flanking position.
Yeah, but nobody else is next to him.
I mean, not now.
Oh, I will be, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's you? Is that all your turns?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Swing.
Swing?
Wait, no. There's
No, you got one more. That's why I was suggesting it.
I guess easiest while I'm still in the rage would just be to take the map -10 and hope I don't roll like I have been. 22 to hit.
No. That's why I told you to flank, because
Okay.
22 and 21 would have hit if you flanked.
Yeah, well, nothing I could do that turn.
2 luck.
All right. Tulok will beat this old drum and cast telekinetic projectile,
Mhm.
bringing down another stone. 22 to hit.
Wow. Nope.
That's a miss. And then, just because he's like, "What the fuck is this thing?" he would like to roll a knowledge check on it.
Thanks, buddy.
There you go. You take a moment after you throw your second projectile at it, take a moment to stare it down, and you think, I'm not quite sure. This is something. Looks like it's maybe a member of giant kind, but you're not quite sure what kind or what type. What you do notice right away, though, is that it is like covered in barbs and like spikes that are jabbed into it that seem to be like hampering it a lot. And it's like struggling and bleeding, and it's all happening really fast. But this thing has come out of the woods injured.
Okay. And he just goes, "I don't know what it is, but it's already injured. Keep on it."
Lady Gilda.
Lady Gilda, assuming that this thing is angry because it set off one of Reginald's traps, is not thrilled about the situation she has all of a sudden been putting in, if that is in fact the case. So first action has to be a step. Second action will be to raise the shields. And third action will be a disarm.
Okay.
So that's athletics versus your reflex
Long pause.
DC. Success, I just
Yep.
weaken your grab on it and
Grip. Yeah.
+2 minus 2 to attacks.
Hmm.
That's a 21.
That's meat to beat.
Okay. So any other disarm checks get a +2 circumstance bonus, and the target takes a -2 to its attacks until the end of its until the start of your turn. Sorry.
So the start of its next turn. Yeah.
So that's not particularly helpful.
Yeah, the start part's really tough there because it's a success. So on their part,
Yeah.
I think, or no, yeah, more or less. It's now its turn, so it recovers from that right away. Lesson learned, I'm sure, and it's going to 5-foot step back again and swing that gaff. This time at Kruka.
As a reaction, he is going to use no escape and follow him.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I like that.
Reaction, and steps right up and swings the gaff, perhaps a bit wide, but it's still a 26 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay, so you almost step right into it, and you take 16 bludgeoning damage, and it swings a second time for 28 to hit.
Also hit.
This time catching you with a hook for 22 piercing damage.
Okay, so 31 total off my HP.
No, it's more than 31.
I had 7 temporary HP.
Oh, nice.
Because I went into a rage. Yeah.
It is your turn.
Well, I guess first turn will be to listen to some heavenly voice that said "Flow," and stride to the east of the monster, and then start swinging with that axe. 31 to hit.
That'll hit.
24.
Damn.
24 damage. Ooh, that's a big hit. And what does it look like when you're raging?
Well, it's no dance around the maypole burn.
His hair goes golden and stands straight up.
Basically, like when he takes the swing back, the blade just comes alight with fire. It's almost like shooting up his wrists, up the shaft of this axe, and he brings it down, and it just like comes down in a burst of flame, as well as slicing right into
fucking embers fly off. Oh,
that's
this
sick.
creature taking an axe to the back. Yeah. All right, is that you?
No, one more swing of the axe.
Nice.
That -5. Oof, 16 to hit.
No dice. All right, Tulak.
All right, Tulak, finding little success with his telekinetic projectile, raises his arms and just whips some magic missiles in the direction of this creature. The 3, a 4, and a 4 for 11 points of force damage.
Okay, not too bad. You've rolled better before, but that's not too shabby.
It's a hit.
Lady
It's
Gilda.
a hit.
Yeah.
Gilda's first action will be to step. Seriously though, what did you do to this thing to make it come after you? I can see it's covered in barbs, and as much as I appreciate the firepower, an explanation wouldn't go awry. And then
Firepower.
she will strike out. That is a 17 to hit.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Second action, she will fire again using the guidance from Tulak. That is a 22 to hit.
That is a miss.
Okay.
I lied earlier about the flanking. I got my numbers wrong. Sorry.
Gave me hope just to take it away.
And that's her.
All right. Reginald's body just rolls over into the water with a blank look in its eyes. No breathing can be heard or seen from his body, and this giant creature is going to turn and swing its gaff down on Lady Gilda and miss with a natural 2, and swing again at Lady Gilda. Why not? And miss with a natural 3. Oh boy, what do you got, Dunk?
Oh, just where we want him. Maintaining the rage. Just he's gonna see this thing in a vulnerable state and start swinging like crazy. 19 to hit.
Oh, everyone's rolling low today. This is bad.
28 to hit.
That'll hit.
That's 28
Jeez.
Jesus
damage.
Christ.
Okay.
Fire.
Massive hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just gonna stay mad. That seems to be the
Why not?
swing with a -10. 23 to hit.
That meets to beat with flat-footed.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Man.
And 19 damage for
19 damage. Oh, you are just taking chunks into this guy. Tulok. This thing is like howling now.
He will also respond to Lady Gilda as, I've never seen this creature before. I only want to see it die.
Why though?
So is Reginald just dead?
As far as you can tell.
Tulok will use 2 move actions to get beside him and will activate the healer's gloves for 10 points of healing.
And like shocking someone with defibrillators, you just blast this healing magic into his body, and you are quite certain that they are dead.
He wakes up for just a moment and says, remember me as I lived! A flash of light in the dark.
And is there anything else for you?
No, that's it.
Okay, Lady Gilda.
Too little, too late, I think is what they call that, even though,
Yeah.
let's be honest,
It's good effort.
he was supposed to die.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all gonna die.
First action will be to raise. How's he doing back there, Tulok? I heard a splash.
He's dead.
Don't sugarcoat it or anything.
Start sliding him into the Duffy's mouth.
Yeah. Okay. She will punch with her second action, just hearing this news. That is a 32 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
8 points of bludgeoning, and 1 point of positive.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? Can we not save anyone anymore? And she's starting to get kind of mad at herself. And she will strike out again at a -4. That is a 26 to hit.
That
And
hits.
Gilda goes into a rage. We didn't know she had that archetype.
6 points of bludgeoning, and 6 points of positive.
Oh, how appropriate. Yeah. And this thing is so close. It's just like stumbling all over the place. You get it's like you managed to punch some of those like barbs further into its flesh and its rubbery hide, and it is going to turn and retaliate on you with a 33 to hit.
33 is a hit. I will use my shield block and my disarming block at this point.
Okay.
Yes.
So shield block first, that reduces your damage taken, right?
Yeah, that will reduce it by my hardness, which is 8.
Okay. So I rolled 16 damage.
So regular damage is not negative.
It is not just bludgeoning damage on this one.
So 8 to me and 8 to my shields. Okay, and the athletics check is a 15. So
That's a fail.
yeah, it's not a critical fail.
It is not.
Okay, good.
And I was really hoping that would work for you, because now that it struck you with the gaff, it's going to use an ability with its last 2 actions called Twist the Hook. And it just gouges an awful wound into you, giving you persistent bleed damage.
Okay.
And Duncan, you're up.
Responding to Gilda, the orc will say, I do not kid. But now is not the time. Save yourself.
And then you see her get stabbed through the leg.
Good one.
Whose team are you on?
Remaining pissed off as fuck, he's just going to take a strike with the flat-footed AC. Jesus! An 18 to hit.
Hey, Zeus. No dice.
Can I hero point that one?
Sure you can. Did I start you with one? Oh, I did. I shouldn't have done that. That's okay. Go for it.
There we go. How's a 33 to hit?
That'll do it. Why don't you just go ahead and describe your kill, since it has 2 HP left.
So it's already looking pretty like sliced up from the previous blows it had taken, and he just lets out an absolute roar. Fire belches from his mouth all the way up his axe. It's just one big flaming blade that comes down and basically cleaves the thing in two.
Oh.
And it smells like broiled haddock.
Yum.
You just slice
What a
this
visceral
thing,
sense.
and it falls
Stings the
back, like
nostrils.
ripping that gaff away from Lady Gilda's flesh, and she's got this gaping wound on her.
You hear her lung collapsing.
Tulok is standing over this dead body, and you have this completely unknown, random, hulking fire orc standing in front of you. And that's what we're going to call it. Stemming the Tide is an actual play podcast of the Adventure Path Abomination Vaults and is produced by the Uncharted North Network. Stemming the Tide uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's community use policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Stemming the Tide is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. Music is composed by Will Savino and artwork by Greyhood. Stemming the Tide is recorded remotely using Foundry Virtual Tabletop. If you wish to connect with us or support this project and projects to come, we can be found at unchartednorth.ca, patreon.com/unchartednorth, and on all major social media platforms. Links to all credits can be found in the episode description and our website. Thanks for tuning in.